AP News. I'm Ed Donahue. Donald Trump is well aware of what's at stake tomorrow.
If we win Pennsylvania, not me, if we win Pennsylvania, we win the whole ball of wax. It's over.
Trump is in Reading, Pennsylvania, asking his supporters, are they better off now than they were 4 years ago?
With your vote tomorrow, I will end inflation. I will stop the invasion of criminals coming into our country. And I will bring back the American dream. You're going to have the American dream back.
Kamala Harris's campaign appearances today are all in Pennsylvania.
Let's get out the vote. Let's win.
In Scranton, Harris says her campaign is fighting for the best of America.
When you believe something is possible, you put in the hard work, and you know it's good work. Hard work is good work. It's joyful work, and we get the job done.
A 24-year-old man was arrested after punching an election judge at a polling place in Orland Park, Illinois, near Chicago. About 77 million Americans already have voted early around the country. A lawyer for Elon Musk's Political Action Committee, Chris Gober, told a judge in Philadelphia the so-called winners of his $1 million a day voter sweepstakes in swing states haven't won by chance, but instead were selected to be paid spokespeople for the group.
We're in court today because some district attorney in Philadelphia wants to silence Elon Musk for supporting Donald Trump.
Philadelphia DA Larry Krasner believes the lottery violates state election law. The Coast Guard suspended a search for 4 boaters missing in Northern California after their boat capsized. Search crews found an 11-year-old boy alive and recovered the body of a teenager. A 17-year-old suspect in a shooting that killed 2 people during a Halloween celebration in downtown Orlando, Florida last week has been charged as an adult. This is AP News. An Ohio sheriff is apologizing
for posting on Facebook that he wouldn't help Democrats and would require proof of who a person voted for before providing aid. Lieutenant John Rogers says his actions were out of character and were caused by prescribed sleep aid drugs. Rogers is a 20-year sheriff's veteran in Clark County, where Springfield is the county seat. The sheriff's office said the road patrol commander will remain on duty with a written reprimand for violating the department's social media policy. The county has been in the spotlight since Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump amplified false claims that Haitian immigrants in Springfield were eating people's pet dogs and cats. I'm Haya Panjwani.
Elon Musk's X has been modified so that accounts you blocked on the social media platform can still see your public posts. X updated its Help Center page over the weekend to explain how blocking now works on the site. I'm Ed Donahue, AP News.
Good morning, Marianas. So many things we gotta discuss. Happy day, Tirawami greetings to Rhoda, Guam, Saipan, and Tinian. For all your island news from a beautiful place with Pacific views. It's always so much fun on Good Morning, Marianas.
It's election day. It's here. Today is about ballots and balut. Good morning, everybody. Hey, it's 7:10 in the morning here, and look at it outside. It is absolutely gorgeous. You couldn't ask for a better day than what we've got right here in Saipan right now. Traffic moving along just fine. You're looking down at Beach Road in Oleai. Look at it going. That's right, 4 lanes of power. They're going to have to open up the lane like just below us. There's a little creeper. You can't really tell so much from this angle, but it's really close. They're almost done. They're almost to the AK intersection. And that intersection is an absolute train wreck. But other than that, Beach Road looks pretty good right there. That's hope. That is hope for a new tomorrow. Hey, you can have a new tomorrow too. Who knows what's going to happen when we wake up tomorrow? Who knows what time we're actually going to go to bed tonight? I don't know if they're going to have the results done in time tonight. If it's anything like 2024, now that was a general, so it was bigger. That was a bigger election. There were more seats open and all that other stuff, plus the gubernatorial. Forget about it. But today, it's going to go for a while. Even the runoff went pretty late last year, so we'll see how it goes tonight. But we'll be down there at the multipurpose building in Susupe, so feel free to bring care packages, right? Oh, yes, there you go, Luisa. It's all about ballots, balut, and balutan. That is what tonight is all about. That is great. We will gladly take your balutan. No kidding. We are wasting away. We're going to lose all our weight just sitting there, wasting away, doing people's work. Help us, help us, help us. Who knows how long we're going to last. We're going to be there all night, though. LJ Castro and I, the Finicisu Mestizu, we're going to be there. This guy is so great. Now, I love him for a lot of different reasons, and a lot is really even just the conversation that we have. But he's such a sharp guy. He's got so much knowledge, so much history about the CNMI, a real historian, a real passionate community member out here. And he just gave us tons of great info last year. Well, every time I bump into him, tell you the truth. But he's already been hard at work creating some graphics for the things that we're going to be working on tonight. In fact, so you'll be able to see here. I'll even throw them up on the share screen. In fact, here, let me go to this one first, because this one I think is really neat. Based on the size of that screen, I'm going to have to shrink it down to the size a little bit. The regular share screen stuff that I got for you, it's a little bit bigger than what it normally would be. Hold on. But anyway, LJ's been hard at work at doing that stuff for us, so we can update you live throughout the night. Here you go. Pew! This is one of the tabs. That's for the House. So here's this is for the U.S. House of Representatives. This is just for what we're going to keep. As soon as they're making the announcements, we got a shared little file here, a Google Doc or Google Sheet, so we could do all that. Then there's the municipal councils, all that info that's on there for all the candidates, the senators, and the House. And then what's the legislature going to look like after everybody's voted in? That's going to be on there, so we can see all that. What's really neat, though, is this, too. This is like some of the graphics that we'll have for you tonight, so you'll be able to see it. We'll update all this stuff live as it happens as well throughout the night. As soon as we get answers, as soon as there are some preliminary reports coming in from the election district. That's what that ED means, election district 1 through 7. And then there's the early votes and the absentee ballots. Those are the two at the end. So we'll be doing those throughout the night, and it'll look a little bit fancier for you when we pop it on full screen. But that's what you're going to be looking at tonight while we do all our coverage for you. It won't just be us talking, although to be fair, there's going to be a healthy dose of that too. There'll be a lot of that. But what makes our coverage fun, or at least more watchable, I think, is that we're going to have you guys there with us, because it's a total interactive experience while we are doing this with you as the night goes on. You're going to be able to give our comments. Last time, people were calling in from all over, from the mainland and all that, calling in with jokes. Regular comments and all that stuff. But, there's a lot of time to fill. We're going to be there for hours and hours. So you guys jump in. Faisal, who's leading? It hasn't started yet. It is 7:16 in the morning on Tuesday. We don't expect the results to start rolling in, the preliminary results, till around 7-ish, right? So don't worry, we'll be live before that. I think I'm not sure what time we're going to get in there, but we're going to try to set up, basically after this is done today, we are going to start packing up shop. We are bringing NMI News Service Central to the multipurpose in Susupe. I'm excited. I can't wait, really. We're not going to have this chair and these monitors here with that computer, but we're going to bring different computers with all kinds of monitors and all that stuff, so we can do all that stuff, plus the cameras. It's going to be the full deal. We're really excited about having the full broadcast for you, because that's what we're there for. We're there. We might as well make it all work. I love you too, Joanna. Thanks for tuning in. I remember, seeing you a lot online, and I know you got some folks that you're really cheering for this election too. I think you're out there in the mainland too, right? But either way, it's great to see you. Oh yeah, and no kidding, Louisa. Paging Godfathers. Yeah, Godfather's Pizza might have to carry us through. We had that pizza run during the gubernatorial election while we were waiting. We were able to do a phone call and do the traffic report as that happened, which was a lot of fun. So if we end up doing that this year, it'll be pretty neat. What we can do, though, this year also is do phone calls, but video calls from the folks in the different camps. And that could be from any of the candidates who are running. I think the big one that they're all important races, right? But I think the ones that people are really focused on this year is who's going to be our next representative in the United States Congress. I think that's the biggest one. I would say another big one is the Saipan Senate race. You got 3 people running for 1 seat. Will the Senate president keep her seat? Will the representative from Precinct 2 unseat her? Or will the third candidate come in and knock them both out? Who knows? That could be it could be absolutely wild. All the other races are important. Yes, I got you. I'm interested. Also, I'm not in Precinct 3, but I think Precinct 3 is really interesting. Here, let me go in there. House. Oh, Board of Education is going to be a really interesting race, too. Because there are a bunch of people running for 2 seats. 5 people running for 2 seats. You've got Greg Borja, Kodet Ogumoro. You've got Mazie B. Tenorio. Well, Greg Borja and Mazie B. Tenorio are the incumbents. They are current board members for the Board of Education. Kodep decided to run this year, and we had him on the show. We had Greg on the show also. And Mazie Juan Iguel Tenorio from Tanapa. If you've been around baseball, you know him. And Martin Borja. Dispensa. Martin Atta. And Martin Atta from San Vicente. You know his son. He's a former congressman, but his son is a current congressman, Roy Atta, who's in Precinct 1. So it's going to be an interesting race for just 2 seats for the Board of Education. So we'll see how that works out this time around. Let me go to Precinct 3. This is the one I think is pretty interesting. Where we go. That's Precinct 2. Oh, Precinct 2 is interesting. There's only 2 seats open. J.P. Sablan running for re-election. Manny Castro not running for re-election. He's running for Senate. So that leaves the door open. Now, J.P. Sablan is running with Diego Sablan. And then Danny Aquino, the former director for the Commonwealth Bureau of Military Affairs, he's running as well. Precinct 3, this is the one I think is really interesting. I had a friend who lives in Precinct 3 ask a little bit about, hey, so is there anyone to vote for or anyone not to vote for? I'm like, well, depends on what your interests are. So he told me what he thought, so then I told him what I thought. Here's who's going for Precinct 3. Basically, Precinct 3 is interesting to me because there's 6 seats and there's 2, all the incumbents are running plus 2 more. So will all the incumbents get back in? I don't know. Marissa Flores, Vicente Camacho, Danita Yankdamai, BJ Attal, Edmund Villagomez, Ralph Umel. Those are the incumbents. Who's trying to get in? Del Benson, the guy with all the funny signs. And Coach Elias Rangamar. He is running. I didn't know his middle name's Jerome. I had no idea. All right, Coach Ellie. I'll tell you what. I think Coach Elias Rangamar gets in. I think he does. Yeah, that's right. I think he can get in there. I don't know who he knocks out. I don't know who doesn't get in for him. But I think he's got a real shot. He's done so much for the community. This is just another way to do it. I I met him back in the days when he was working for DCCA over at the Atta Gym. When it was him and Tony Regolafoy running the show. Mario Sablon, Johnny Regis down there running that show. Joe Mettow. So I'm curious to see how it works. He's done way more than that. He's played soccer. He's coached everybody for track and field. Old Aces. I don't know. He's a popular guy. And he's not a big self-promoter. I think I don't know if that's a big help for him or if that's going to hurt him in the election because he's not a self-promoter. He just does stuff. He just does. That's it. He's not the look at me guy at all. Coach Ellie just been doing stuff in the community for nothing and for decades. That is not an hyperbole. He's been doing it for decades. No self-promotion and no money. Just going out there to do stuff for the community. So his passion's there. He's doing it for the right reasons. And again, I'm not rooting against anyone to get knocked out, but it'd be pretty cool to see Coach Ellie get in. You know, I'm kind of cheering for him from the sidelines. Just all the stuff I've seen him do for years. I'm really excited. District 4, only 2 seats, but they've got 5 people running. Joel Camacho running again. Rosa Rios, Malcolm Omar. Omar and Camacho are the 2 incumbents. Tony Capileo, running for the Republicans. Rosa Rios running for the Republicans, and Cecilia Fitiel running independent. And let's see who else we got. This is District 5, only 2 seats available. TJ Manglonia, who left the Republicans, running as an independent, as an incumbent, and Angelo Camacho going as an independent. And then you've got Melvin Faisal. I haven't heard him. He was an appointee for a bunch of different places, and now he's running under the GOP for Precinct 5. I think they had a hard time filling the slots for the GOP. Not in Tinian. In Tinian, nobody's running against them. It's just Patrick San Nicolas and a case of beer running against nobody. That's it. The Bud Light Party. They are just running unopposed, so he can already start celebrating. Now, in Rhoda, Julie Ogo, big friend of the show. We've had her on since we were operating out of the spare room and the San Vicente mansion. She's running against Eusebio Manglonia. Bill is what everybody's calling him. So that's a good race. I like both of them. Julie's our girl. I'm not telling you who to vote for at all, but I worked with Julie all the way back to like 2007. She's great. I love her so much, and she's been through a hell of a lot, and I'm excited for her. I was excited for her as getting elected, and now to see where she goes going forward. Again, no shade on anybody. I like Bill too a lot. So good luck with everybody who's running. How about, we already did Precinct 3 and 4. Those are a couple that I thought were really interesting. Precinct 2, we talked about that. Precinct 1, that's going to be an interesting one. Again, 6 folks in there. But there's some room to move. The person who's gotten the most votes is not running in Precinct 1 because he's running for U.S. Congress. So who do you got? Who do you got? Well, let's talk about it. You got Diego Camacho. That's Mayor RB's son. He's going for his second term. Raven Palacios. Joseph Flores. That dude just wins. He abstains a lot, too. In fact, his middle initial is A. I wonder if that's for abstention. I like Joe. I'm just saying. He abstains a lot. You got Roy Atta. And he's running for the GOP. I really like Roy. I hope he does well. You got Roman Beneventi. He's an incumbent. He's running again. Janet Maritita is coming back again. Miss Purple. She she runs, I swear, I think she's run every election since I've been here. Win or lose, she's running. Then you've got Bo Kittiquah, Raymond, frequent caller to the show. He's running for Precinct 1. And you also have Vincent Cobre Aldon, incumbent, running. You got Ben Pittig, who's running for the GOP. You've got the Senate president's sister, Patricia, is running. And then you got Yvette Sablon. And man, I'll tell you what, she's just so nice. I really like her. But I used to work with her husband over at Triple J. Well, I'll tell you, that guy is just a solid dude. I mean, like, just a really great guy. I really like him. And I'm thankful that I got to work with him, and just a real dependable dude. If you guys ever go down to like Triple J, their Payless Super Fresh and Wholesale, he works in the back with the 5-star wholesale. He's really the quarterback of that back room, and everybody works for him. And I'll tell you what, geez, just solid, dependable. He's the kind. Every company wants a guy like him. Everybody wants a guy like him working for him. All right, we had talked about the Board of Education already. Rhoda is easy. There's only one person running for Rhoda, Anthony Wayne Barcinas. Municipal Council. You know, this one I don't get it. I don't get the Municipal Council because I don't really know what they do. But I think there's only 3 seats and there's only 3 people running. So you got that going for you. Marianne Tudela, Antonio Tudela, and Carmen Pangolina. So you know who's going to win for Saipan. Over in Tinian, you got Stephen Cabrera, Anna Marie San Nicolas, and Joe Santos. And in Rhoda, you've got Sandra Mosca, Jim Michael Atalig, Jonathan Lizama, and Tilly Timanyao. All right. And Senate side, we talked about it a little bit. Senate President being challenged. Edith De Leon Guerrero being challenged by Manny Castro from Precinct 2, trying to get her seat. Same with Luis Sablon, also running. Who's going to win? How about in Tinian? Easy. There's only one person running. No one's going to run against Carl King Neighbors. He is the king of Tinian. Don't tell Keith I said that. Keith is the king. They are great, though. How about over there in Rota, Paul Manglonia, the guy who's literally been in there. It's like, I think he helped. I think he ran to the store to buy the paper that the covenants printed on way back in the day. He has been a part of the CNMI government since the CNMI had a government. He's running for re-election, and Ronnie Calvo is running against him. For the judges, you've got judicial retention question. Shall Associate Judge Teresa Kim Tenorio of the CNMI Superior Court be retained in office? That comes up. She's done great. I don't think that there's any chance that she doesn't get re-upped. I think there'll be some people who say no because just somebody will, but I think for sure she gets retained without any question about it. And then the big one. You see, can I make this full screen on this? This is before I download it. Let me see. Come here, you little mouse, freezing up on me there, turkey. Well, anyway, that's going to be the big deal, and to see these results come in for the U.S. Congress, Ed Probst, Leanna Hofschneider, Kim King-Hines, Jimbo Rayfan, John Gonzalez. You heard about them for months. You've seen the commercials. You've heard their town halls. You've seen the debates and the forums. Now what? I have some thoughts. Hey, good morning, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, great to see you. Yeah, Delmas. Great to see you, man. Hey, if you haven't already, I see you over there, you and Travis, over there on the Good Morning Marianas page. If you could, click over to the NMI News Service page and give it a like. We're like, and a follow. By the way, I don't know how that likes and follows things work. I'm only tracking follows. Follows are more important than likes, but hopefully you do both, like and follow. But I was looking at the number of follows that we have. Holy crap. We got a lot. we got a lot. All right. Here's the question. It says, what's the chances that this election will improve our economy sooner than later? I don't know. I don't think the election itself does it. I think it's done a lot for beer sales. And by the way, there's no beer sales today till 7 o'clock tonight. So if you didn't buy it yesterday, sorry, a little womp womp. You're out of luck until later. Hopefully you got a friend. Maybe you know somebody at one of those Chinese stores who will let you do it. Because I think that's the only way you're going to be able to get around it. Sometimes you can do it. And I say Chinese stores. It's really like all the mom and pop stores. You just give them a little wink and a nod. Come on. You know, they just have to know that you're okay. You're good to go. But I don't know that I don't know that anybody is really going to stimulate the economy with what they're doing. I think the most important thing they need to do is have a plan coming in there. I had this conversation with a friend of mine last night. He's like, Brad, but let's talk serious. You're never going to be the lieutenant governor. So what are you going to do that's going to get anything done? By the way, I had no aspirations of being lieutenant governor. He just threw that out there. I'm like, well, I think the first thing is I'll have to legally change my name to like Sablon or something. Then I'll have a pretty good chance. I don't know. Maybe we should do what should be my local name I change it to. But you know, jokes aside, you know, what would you do? I'm like, man, I'll tell you what, I would run for House, but I would run with that plan. The first thing is, instead of looking to raise more money for the Commonwealth, is to, and you hear everybody say this and nobody do it, is to reduce the size of the government. Ooh, scary. But I don't mean cutting out any jobs, because that's like poison, right? It's election night poison. But I would run in there with a plan. We already talked about this a whole lot of times, but he hadn't heard it. But the thing is reduce our expenses. And I already got a bunch of them. I would pass laws, or I would introduce legislation, and not just through the committee. And I wouldn't let them bury it in a committee, because I would be super public about it, letting everybody know about it so that they can let their folks know what's going on. Yeah. Yeah, I see that too a lot. Yeah, overlapping departments. Yeah, but even before I get to that, there's a lot of low-hanging fruits. We're going to regulate vehicle leases, even from elected folks. First thing, you got to make that all a fleet deal. Nobody's getting $60,000 trucks for their office. It's not going to happen. I'm going to change it right away. Next thing, I'm going to eliminate that $5,000 slush fund that every elected official gets in the legislature. But here's the thing. You guys got to be on board with this part, or that doesn't work. You got to raise the salary of those elected officials, the senators and the representatives. You got to double it. If you don't double it, you at least got to give them 60. You can't have your lawmakers making $32,000 a year and expect them to be above reproach. You should, but they're not going to be, because that's not good enough money. Make that legislator's salary $60K and watch what happens at looking to see what you get. So now the whole reason why there's that $5,000 a month little slush fund, it all started, it used to only be for Rhoda and Tinian, and then Luis Crisostomo, the late Luis Crisostomo, said, well, if they're getting it, we should get it too. So the thing is, people from Rhoda and Tinian, you get government housing here. That's it. You get official legislature apartment or condo or whatever it happens to be. And all the maintenance and all the rent and all the utilities paid for by the CNY as part of that. And as part of that budget, you get to go back and forth twice a month. If you want to go more than that, that's personal. But the CNMI pays for Tinian and Rhoda to go there twice a month. The three senators for each and the 1 rep for each. And that's it. They could fly back more often than they need to, and that could come out of their regular office budget. And then everybody gets the same car that's done as a fleet deal that's brokered by the Legislative Bureau with the approval of OPA. And just like that, we save the CNMI hundreds of thousands of dollars every year. Yep, true story. All right, what else do we do, though? Well, we got the housing. We got the travel. We got the vehicles. It's a pretty good start. You're already saving the CNMI money, right? We rewrite the rules to say that if you're going to do that kind of business with the CNMI, one of two things is going to happen. We're either going to start buying those cars, and I know they can, because I saw the vehicle, those little Japanese K-trucks being purchased by a joint buy from Precinct 2, Manny Castro, and JP Sablon. So if they're buying that, you could buy vehicles with your funds. So either we buy it for those 2 years for those folks, and it becomes a lease vehicle or a purchased vehicle by the Legislative Bureau, or it's a lease in the style of lease that's in the U.S. mainland, where there is a residual that is agreed upon at the beginning of the lease, so that when you get to the end of your 2 years, that's it. So that means you're only paying the difference of the value of the vehicle from today to there, and you finance the difference. That's what a lease is. That's what a real lease is, not this ridiculous bloated lease thing that we've got right now. Why provide cars? I'll tell you what, though, Jerry, just imagine this. I think you're right. Why provide cars? You could make that thing. You're definitely going to need an office vehicle, though, if you're doing stuff. Right? I could see that. Oh, yeah. James, that's another one. See, that's a great one right there. So that's another one. So anyway, but if you're getting the vehicles, the thing is, what I'm saying is you don't need the latest Pathfinder, Expedition, 4-wheel drive, Frontier, Tundra, you name it. Shouldn't be doing that. Here's what I like, James. We don't need 20 House members. Absolutely. We don't need 20 House members. And the main reason is because we have a much smaller population. So we got to contract a little bit. We added when our population was growing. Well, it's not growing now. It says they buy expensive cars because they justify it's just a better investment in the long run. They just bought too many cars. Yeah, the thing is, a better investment in the long run. I'm not saying buy something that's held together by tape, but you don't need to be rolling on dubs with something like that. I mean, it just, you do what you do. You get what you really need for that vehicle. Nobody needs anything more. And if you want something more, you buy your own. But so to get to your point, though, Jerry, the representatives from Rhoda and Tinian and their senators, you can't expect them to have their own personal house and car and everything in Rhoda and Tinian, and then have to do it over here too, though, right? Pay more salary, remove the housing and vehicles unless they stay in government-owned housing, providing it as a benefit of skirting tax evasion. Yeah, I'm with you. Like, I get it. So, I mean, because they still have to maintain their residences in Tinian and Rhoda, right? I mean, they have to. You can't ask them to double up on that. It shouldn't be a hardship for them to have that, right? I get you. And again, for those elected officials, I mean, you can't ask them to have both because they're going to be here doing their stuff, and they're going to have to go to the store, right? They're going to have to go to the store. They're going to have to go to the doctor. They'll probably have to go to, the hospital or something. So, those guys who are coming here, they get that mixed use thing for sure. So I think that that's manageable. And that would also, I'd be facing a ton of anybody who suggested all that stuff would be facing a ton of opposition because people would not like that. I'm sure there would be a lot of those. Hey, brother, can I come in for a minute? Yeah. And why are you getting into that one? Why are you making such a big deal about it? You know, we got a pretty good thing going. Well, so here's the thing. We got to agree that $32,000 is just not enough for a representative or a senator. It's not. And that's why they end up depending on that that extra $60,000 that they get to write without any controls. And the problem is that hardwires in some deceit, right? Just eliminate that. Give them a wage where that's not going to happen. At least they're straight up about what they're spending their money on. We need that in our lives. They do too. Is that a life changer? Yeah. But they're not being shady about making more money in that kind of position. It's still not governor level money, but it's still a net gain for the CNMI, meaning we're spending less money doing that. And whoever's coming into office, if you don't already have a plan for doing something like that, dude, you're screwed. You're just winning a popularity contest. You can't get elected and then, hey, and great to see you. Thanks for coming in. You can't just get elected and then like, all right, now that I'm here, what are we going to do? Too late, dude. Too late. You need to have a plan so you can hit that ground running. Because you got about a good year of trying to make stuff happen. Because that second year is all election stuff. Think I'm kidding? That's when everybody unleashes all their magic plans, like 3 or 5 months left in the year. Because that's when they want to be seen. Got to hit the ground running with the plan. Work with people. Absolutely. You're not steamrolling stuff, but you got to knock on doors. You got to do all that work in the legislature. Yeah, some people will smile to your face and not give you the love later, but that's why you're not working for the other representatives and you're not working for the party. You are working for the people of the CNMI. So you got to make sure that you really engage your community. You know, these town halls that they're doing are friggin' great, but they only do them at election time. Then they fade away and you never hear from these friggin' people again until it's the next election. And I'm not saying that, I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just saying that's the truth. It doesn't mean that people don't care, but they don't seem to. They do a lot more talking than listening. I mean, there you go, Brad. Look in the mirror. But if you're going to have that job, you need to friggin' listen. And if you're not giving your constituents, if you're just waiting for people to call you and ask you for a table and a tent, you're not doing it. You need to be out there and really do that kind of stuff. Do a town hall regularly in your precinct. And that's why you have to tell them, this is what I'm trying to do. And if you're trying to make all those changes, that's going to save the CNMI a lot of money without having to reduce the workforce, which might have to happen one day anyway. But you got to start somewhere. Start where the place where it's not going to hurt. Low-hanging fruit. You got to say, hey, look, I need your support on this because even your other representatives in our precinct aren't on board with this because they don't want to lose their car and they don't want to lose this extra money. Tell you got to do that. You have to do that. And they have to believe you. And they're not going to believe you if you're only going to reach out to talk to them when it's election time. It's constant contact. You need to have constant dialogue with the people of your precinct. And then, while you do all that stuff, you need them to talk to the folks in the other precincts too, so they vote those guys out if they don't want to do it. Or they pressure them to do it. So they're not being pressured by their buddies who have the same job as you. And they're not being pressured by their people with the parties. And if they are, sure, the party might push them. But who's more important? Make them answer that question to their constituents. Who's more important? The constituents or the people pulling the strings at the party? That's it. So as I told my friend, I have a plan if I ever did anything like that. And it would be running and gunning from day one. Really. Again, it's not like being all full of yourself, telling everybody, we're going to fix this or we're going to fix. No, you're going in with a plan to help fix this. Can't solve it all. So don't go in there with this multi-spectral approach that you could fix everything, because you can't. You can't. You just got to be focused. And you don't need to be on a committee to introduce legislation. It would help. But you do that stuff and you make your way. I'm telling you, you will make a name for yourself by them telling you no. For the people who want to pull those strings, they are going to be the ones who end up getting the rug pulled out from underneath them by the voters. It'll happen. If you believe in your Commonwealth, that will happen. All right, let me look at this. And that is it, Jim. I'm telling you, that is it. I'm just trying to get my mouse up there to you. Doom, doom, doom. Oh, man, this mouse. I'll tell you what. I got a love-hate relationship with this thing. And I know it's not just the batteries. I hope it's not just the batteries. I'm even dumber than you think. And I know that probably it's a pretty low standard. But this is a big thing. It says, if I can get this on here instead of keep rolling up here. It says, an unlivable wage for people controlling the purse strings is a structural risk for corruption everywhere. It's got a very long history all around the world of making well-intentioned people slowly worn down and cut corners until they often become, it keeps popping up, what they ran against in the first place. That is it. That is exactly it. That's it. That's why judges get paid so much money. That's it. That's why they pay judges a high salary. Yeah. That's why they give folks in the Department of Justice a high salary. Same thing. It says you can fix everything if you put selfless people in charge of all the departments and boards guaranteed. Oh yeah, but that's a higher level stuff, right? You're right. I'm with you. But that's at a higher level, not at the House of Representatives and not at the Senate. But a first term representative needs to, it's not, some of it, I guess, yeah, some of it can be OJT, right? Some of it. But your hardcore plan of what you're going to do, you need to run in on day one with that plan and make things happen. And you know what's funny? Not everybody's going to be on board, but they will. Eventually they will. If you do it, I'm telling you, you go in there with the real intention of doing it, but you need your own marketing guy. You need to be your own marketing. I mean, look at Ed Probst. When things weren't going his way and he couldn't get things done, what did he do? He turned to Facebook. Did it work? Dude, they didn't even run a campaign and ended up getting the most votes of any non-island-wide race. It works. So that's what you need to do. And not just, pontificate. You need those listening sessions. And I know. Everybody does it on a level that they can. But having town halls, I'll tell you what, you don't even have to organize them. Just go to the PTAs that are in your district. Yeah, PTSAs. Just go to those meetings in your district when they happen. You're going to learn a lot. You're going to hear a lot. They'll probably give you an opportunity to say something. It's a great opportunity for you to network within there. That's going to be a big deal. It's going to be a big deal. I don't know. I talk like I'm really thinking about this. Kathy hates this idea. But I'm looking to support anyone who's going to do that kind of stuff. Really. I mean, I would love doing that stuff. Yeah, that's a great point. CNMI people will always back you if they can tell you sacrifice yourself for the people. Damn right. That is absolutely right. It's true. And it works. People do that. So we'll see. Anyway, all that stuff is to say, I'm really excited about today. I love Election Day. I hate the build up to it because this is probably the election I like the best so far. Because there's a little bit of mud being slapped around, but it's not that much. Maybe it's because it's a midterm and it's not a gubernatorial election. Because 2022 was awful. It was. I mean, so much crap. There's a lot hanging over. And there's a lot of stuff that still needs to get resolved from all that stuff. But we'll wait and see, when that's going to happen, if they actually get that stuff through the courts. But either way, this has been a very pleasant election season. I mean, this is the one I like the best so far. Maybe because I know the most about what's going on. But I'll tell you what, here's something that I think is really cool and scary. It's cool and scary. It's cool that whoever gets in for the U.S. Congress is someone I'm friends with. I know these guys for a long time. And, I mean, to be fair, there's one that I know the least. But of the other four, I've known them for a long time. I think I've known four of them for 20 years. Maybe one of them's less than 20 years. Maybe it's only 15. Actually, I think it's about 15. Maybe 16 or 17. But it's kind of cool. And we're about the same age. Give or take, right? We're about the same age. That's kind of cool. To me, that's cool because it's not like we're just looking at Lily, who is always, that older generation and all that other stuff. And it's someone our age, someone our friends and all that stuff. So that's kind of exciting. Here's the scary part. That means we're the old ones. Damn it. I know. It's all just a number. I get it. Still, crap. It still kind of makes us the old ones. You take the good, take the bad, take them both there, you have facts of life. That's what you get. But I'm looking forward to seeing who wins because I'm going to be happy. Whoever wins for the House, the U.S. House of Representatives, I'm going to be happy for any of them. I'm going to be happy. I'm disappointed to see Khalili go. But, he's done. He's the one who's voluntarily walking away. He wants to take the foot off the gas. But I'm curious then how whoever wins, they're going to be fine, right? But who's their team? Because you need a freaking team. Khalili had Bob Schwalbach on his team. And he got a lot of stuff done. You guys don't know Bob Schwalbach. He's the guy. The guy. He writes just about everything and gets stuff done. He was an attorney here for a long time, but then left to D.C. with Khalili. Whoever wins needs a Bob, for sure. And who else is going to go? I had a conversation with somebody yesterday. Said, if Ed wins, he's taking Tina. Ooh, I wonder. Does she go to D.C. with him? I mean, it sounds logical because they support each other. But would she not be here? I can't imagine, the prospect of going to D.C. and doing some real work at the federal level. That seems like her speed. So maybe. I have not had even a one-word conversation with her about this at all. This just came up in a phone call I had with somebody last night who's not connected to any of the campaigns. Just somebody sharing. All right, Jim says there are a lot of boards, legislature seats, board spots, commission spots, agency heads, etc. to fill here. There is a small pool of people to draw from here and more spots. any community of this size, even ones without the obstacles here beyond anyone's control, and with a lot more structural advantages and wealth and education than here, would really struggle to fill every single spot with a highly competent, experienced, ethical person. Adding to that stack of challenges that you're having to ask many of the people to make huge financial sacrifices makes it even harder to manage. Oh, I bet. Absolutely. I think what really ends up happening is that, like, I don't even think it certainly would be helpful. Like, when it comes to public works, when it comes to finance, when it comes to, well, I don't know, DPS, when it comes to, well, maybe not DPS as much, but a lot of these organizations, you just need people with great organizational skills and management skills who can trust the people that work for them to do great things. Because the people just under the appointed position don't want to be appointed, because then they lose their protected status as civil service employees, right? Because the appointed people come and go. So if you're one of these folks who gets appointed based on the trust you have with the appointing authority, then it behooves you to really empower the people who work for you to shine. Shine bright like a diamond. Get all Rihanna about it. And that makes you look like a champ. I will tell you, I love that management style of not just empowering them, like encourage them to go further. You know, unless they're being jerks about it, which they shouldn't be, give them all the credit for all the work that they're doing. You know, they don't want that top spot just because they don't want to get, plucked when the next person comes along from a different party or something. Being an appointee is pretty cool, but it sucks. Like, I'll tell you, like Veterans Affairs, right? Right now, they don't have a director. They have an acting director in Bernie Dela Cruz. She's great. She's been there forever. She was in studio with us. She's not the appointed person, but she's been there through so many appointed people who burn out, flame out, or just get removed because the appointing authority got elected out of office. But she is that steadying force in that office, right? If I was appointed to Veterans Affairs, the first thing I would do is make her life as nice as possible and celebrate her service to our community and her team, right? It's not like it's not just her. She's got to have other people working with her and working for her, right? And just make her life easy, because you're just the appointed face. I mean, you literally go down there and say, look, I know you've been doing everything for this place and you are outstanding. And my job now is to support you. You tell me the stuff that you think we need to do to champion for our veterans. Good morning, Marcia. Thanks for tuning in. Great to see you. But that's what, like, you bring your experience to the table. You focus on some of the things that you think that need to be pushed for that office. And then also you communicate with that person who's been operating that office forever. Where can I help you? What are the obstacles to being even more effective? That's how you become an effective appointed leader at any one of those places. Whatever it is. All right, it's 8 o'clock. We're going to take a couple of commercials here, and we're also going to get you the latest update from the Associated Press, because, yes, it's here. You know what's not here? My new mouse. I know I need it. It's all right, but the new update is here from the Associated Press, and a couple of commercials, last day for them. And it's our last opportunity to let folks know that, especially folks who may be mobility challenged, what their rights are before they go and vote. So we're going to go and get that going for you guys. Yep, we'll talk about Laddie-Belt and getting all fit and everything. In fact, today we were going to do another spin-terview, but none of the trainers could make it at the time that we were going to do it today. It's a really crazy day because of the election, so we can't do it later, but we're going to do that later in the week. You can get down to Laddie-Belt and get all ripped on your own and jacked up, and you don't have to worry about fitting it into a schedule because they're open 24 hours a day. They've got the greatest equipment. They've got the greatest people. They got the greatest gear. They've got the greatest supplements. And they've got the greatest place just waiting for you. Head down the road in CK and find them. They're at the base of Aquarius Beach Tower. That's the tallest building in CK. They are in the gray building with the green highlights. The only thing they need is you.
Persistence to build, be the inspiration, they witness the proof. We do what we do by the rules in the book. We be a Lottie where discipline and vision is built. We lead by example, persistence to build, be the inspiration, they witness the proof. We do what we do by the rules in the book.
If you're a person with a disability in the CNMI, you have certain rights that protect your ability to vote. This video contains some information about your rights and some resources available to you in protecting those rights.
What are some of your voting rights as a person with a disability? You have the right to vote regardless of your disability. You have the right to cast your vote privately without disclosing your vote to anyone. But you also have the right to ask for assistance as needed. Polling place workers should be ready and available to assist and accommodate your needs. CNMI law requires that you must be registered to vote in the CNMI. You can vote if you are a citizen or national of the United States, at least 18 years of age on the date of the election, domiciled in the CNMI, a resident of the CNMI, and have resided in the Commonwealth for 120 days, are not serving a sentence for a felony, have not been declared by the court of unsound mind, and have registered to vote at least 60 days before the election.
As a voter with a disability, you have the right to vote in an accessible voting place. That means you can get from your car through the door to cast your ballot without physical barriers or impediments.
Under the CNMI law, any voter who needs help in casting a ballot is entitled to request for assistance. A poll supervisor or the executive director of the Commonwealth Election Commission can provide assistance at the polling place, or you can exercise your right to curbside vote. However, whether you vote at curbside or not is your choice. No poll worker can force you to vote curbside. If you are unable to mark your ballot, you may select up to 2 people to help you cast your vote, except that they cannot be your employer or your employer's agent.
The Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990 requires public entities to provide progress access, reasonable modification of policy, auxiliary aids and service where necessary to afford an individual with a disability an equal opportunity to participate in and enjoy the benefits of the services, program, or activity being conducted by the public entity.
Our primary goal is to have 100% participation of eligible voters in all elections, 100% polling place accessibility, and options for all voters who seek independent and private voting. If you want to know more about your voting rights, please contact the Northern Marianas Protection and Advocacy Systems Incorporated at 670-235-7273 or 74, or you can simply visit our website at www.nmpasi.org.
This video was brought to you by the Administration for Community Living and does not necessarily reflect their official views.
A little over 3 months ago, I declared my candidacy for CNMI's delegate to U.S. Congress. I wanted to give our voters a different choice, a choice more befitting the spirit of our islands, a choice who isn't beholden to big money party politics, and someone who would voice the collective interests of all who call the CNMI home. Service to our community starts with a dignified, even-keeled approach to every issue with all people all the time. Our next delegate needs to be someone with a proven, unblemished record of placing a high value on dignity and respect for all. Our next delegate needs to be someone focused on service above self. And our next delegate needs to be someone who is willing to represent all of our citizens, not just a select few. Our strength lies in our unity, and our community needs an honest leader who is committed to safeguarding and preserving our Commonwealth as a whole, not someone preoccupied with self-preservation through political gamesmanship. I know what it takes, and I have the proven experience to lead others in service to our community. My name is James Rayfand, and I want to be your voice in Washington. This November, when you step into the ballot box, please vote number 4. Please vote James Rayfand.
This ad was paid for by the committee to elect James M. Rayfand, and we approve this message.
AP News. I'm Ed Donahue. The candidates for president are down to their final hours.
So Allentown, this is it. Just one more day.
Kamala Harris's focus all day is Pennsylvania, the biggest prize among the swing states.
We got hard work to do, but here's the thing. We like hard work. Hard work is good work. Hard work is joyful work. And make no mistake, we will win.
Donald Trump is campaigning in 3 states today, and that includes Pennsylvania.
You know, as they say in athletics, the ball is in our court. All we have to do is get out and vote, and we walk away with the greatest political event in history, but much more important, it's going to be the event that saves our country.
The governors of Nevada and Washington state have activated some of their National Guard members to be on standby on Election Day. In the event, they are asked to support local law enforcement. Police in Washington, D.C. are increasing patrols around downtown and near the White House. Officials say there are no known credible threats to the nation's capital. The Biden administration is stepping up criticism of Israel for not doing enough to improve humanitarian conditions in Gaza. Israel risks potential restrictions on military assistance. Ice-T calls Quincy Jones a genius, saying he's the man. The music producer died in Los Angeles. Among the many hits Quincy Jones produced was Michael Jackson's Billie Jean. In a 2008 AP interview, Jones was asked over the years, what did he realize about himself?
Find out that you're fearless. Yep, you really are. And you have to be. You find a lot of things out about yourself, your demons, your love for humanity.
Quincy Jones was 91. In Columbus, Ohio, a former police officer was convicted of murder in the shooting of Andre Hill, a black man. Stocks finished lower. This is AP News. The carved-up remains of a dolphin were found on a beach in New Jersey.
Federal authorities are investigating. The Marine Mammal Stranding Center says the remains of a common dolphin were found Wednesday on the beach in Allenhurst, north of Asbury Park. The dolphin appeared to have been butchered, the animal's flesh completely removed with clean cuts from a sharp instrument, leaving only the head, dorsal fin, and flukes. Witnesses had reported seeing a dolphin struggling in the surf Tuesday, a block from where the remains were found, but it was able to swim back out to sea. It's unclear if it's the same dolphin. I'm Julie Walker.
Tropical storm Rafael formed in the Caribbean and will bring heavy rain to Jamaica and the Cayman Islands before strengthening into a hurricane and likely hitting Cuba. Heavy rain is possible from the storm later in Florida and the Southeast. I'm Ed Donahue, AP News.
All right, welcome back, Marianas. It is 8:11 in the morning here on Election Day. It is Tuesday, November 5th. Vote early, vote often. Okay, just vote once. 1 second. Somebody following up with me about my whole refrigerator stuff. I'll tell you what, I just sent you the reply. Thanks for following up on that. Had a guy who said he was going to come out on Sunday. But I thought he was going to be there early. Anyway, it was around 3 o'clock. I'm like, dude, we got stuff to do. I can't wait. So I said, all right, let's reschedule. And so we just haven't been able to put it together. In the meantime, though, one of my friends who knows a thing or two about these things said, hey, it's going to sound like the IT answer. But Have you tried unplugging it and then starting it up again? I opened it up, and the now the freezer was starting to not be cold, but the vent where all the cold air comes up from the freezer was all iced over. So when I saw that, I'm like, all right, I'll try it. So I unplugged it yesterday, and we're going to give it a shot. Give it the old college try. We'll see if it works. And if it does, then we're golden. If it doesn't, then, well, we'll see what happens then, too. We'll have to get that in there. But I'll tell you what, everything that was in the refrigerator, lost cause. It's all gone. Sadness. Sorry, we'll survive. We'll get by. We're just going to get by with new groceries. But there's a bonus of that for me because we have a refrigerator here in the studio. So that means yesterday, after Kathy made this great steak fried rice for the kids and everything, she said, can you take this with you to work? Yes, I can. I got Obama really quick. Yes, I can. I will take that with me to the office, and I will make sure it does not go to waste. Of course, I'll take it because I have a refrigerator. Oh, nom, 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 nom. It was awesome. It was great. Well, I'll tell you something that wasn't great that we heard about last week was the Saipan Tribune closing down after 30 years. At the end of this year, that's it. They're kaput. But now people want to keep it alive, and they should. And somebody started a petition to keep the Saipan Tribune alive. You can find it right now on change.org. That is the petition right there. In fact, I'm going to copy the link and put it in the comments for you guys. If you want to sign it, I had a conversation with the the former editor of the Saipan Tribune, J.V. Valhera. And he's like, hey, make sure you sign that. I really hope it stays alive. I'm like, I do too. Now, here it is. This is started by Amy Anonymous. That's probably a better AA. It says, as a local citizen, I rely heavily on the Saipan Tribune. This platform has been vital in balancing the output of news in our island, ensuring we stay informed and engaged in both local and global affairs. Its preservation is critical to the spirit of our democracy and freedom of speech. The Marianas relies on this publication to inform its communities of the issues we face. Since its establishment back in 1990, the Saipan Tribune has provided comprehensive, unbiased news coverage on a number of topics, reaching hundreds of readers daily. It plays an indispensable role in the promotion of transparency in governments and fosters informed citizenship. Currently, the Saipan Tribune is under threat as it's facing an impending shutdown. Unless action is taken, our island could lose this valuable resource, leaving an information gap that could negatively impact our community. Let's strive together to keep the Saipan Tribune alive. Its survival is not just about maintaining a newspaper, it's about the preservation of and amplification of the voices and stories from our CNMI, our beautiful island. Join me, a local and loyal reader, in this fight. Your signature can make a difference. Reinforce the need to keep the Saipan Tribune open. Sign this petition today. So there it is. The link is in the comments if you want to sign that for the Saipan Tribune. It is there for you. How about that? Oh. Yeah, my buddy messaged me. He's like, hey, do you have heartburn this morning or gas? You sound weird. Well, I'm probably full of hot air or full of something. But yeah, I'm still, I thought I sounded pretty good at the beginning of the broadcast day, but I'm still like getting this stuff out of my lungs. That's it. I am still hacking this stuff up. So I feel pretty good until that starts. And I feel like things are going just fine. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, guess where I am? I'm in your lungs. I'm coming out. Here we go. And I got to hack that stuff up pretty good. Yeah, it's not pleasant. I don't enjoy it either. But at least I get this little raspy voice thing. This is my Bruce Springsteen after being on the road for a month. Hey, little girl, is your daddy home? Did he go and leave you all alone? That's it. I think that's it. I think I'm pretty close. Pretty close to that. Anyway, Commonwealth Election Commission saying that as of yesterday, They had about 5,800 early votes cast. Not bad. Considering how many votes that we have that come in as a total, that's a pretty massive number. They say that that's light. That sounds about right to me. If you've got, I mean, that's about 20%, right? Because it's not a quarter. Maybe it's about 30. I think it's about 28% of the overall voters that we have. I don't want to do the math. Don't ask me to do the math. I think it's about 27.5% of our total voters. And they're saying that that's light. I'll tell you what, I think it's great. That's a great amount of people voting early. So where are you going to go today? All right. Know your precincts. Do I want to tell this story. I just don't know if I should implicate the person. Because this person be like, oh, she already told me how she thinks she will be perceived. So this person, random person, unnamed person, talking about precincts. Like, wait a minute. Do you know what precinct you're in? No. All right, let's start with this. How many precincts do you think there are? 14? 14. There are not 14 precincts. There are 7, but if you think about it, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Like, with all the little subsections and all that stuff. I mean, I guess you could kind of trying to give some credit here. So here's the deal. Precinct 1A. This is for folks who live and are registered in San Antonio. You're going to be voting at Hopwood Junior High School. And you're going to enter at the football field area. Precinct 1B, 1B1 and 1B2, San Vicente Dandan area. You're going to be out there at Dandan Middle School. You're going to enter over there by the softball field, go in and vote and make your way out. Once you get close, you're not going to have a hard time figuring out where to go. Precinct 1C, that's Coblerville. You're going to be at Coblerville Elementary School cafeteria. Precinct 2, you're going to be at, if you're a C-Case, a soupy person, you're going to be at the Jota and Kidzoo Public Library. Precinct 3A is San Jose Olei area, where we are right here. That's going to be at Olei Elementary School cafeteria right over there. 3B, 3B1, 3B2, you're going to be at Garapan Elementary School at the cafeteria. We voted there when we lived in Sudoctasi. Precinct 4A, Tanapag, you're going to be at the Tanapag Youth Center. 4B, a little further north, you're going to be at San Roque Asmatuis area. You're going to be at GTC. 4C, you're living up on Capitol Hill. You're going to be voting at the legislature in the House chamber. If you're in the Northern Islands, Precinct 4D, you're going to be voting in the Northern Islands. Alamagan, Pagan, and Agrigan. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Precinct 5, out there in Cagman. Precinct 5-1, Precinct 5-2. You're going to be out there in Cagman at Cha-Cha Ocean View. That's where you go to vote. Just look for all the people, all the tents, all the waving, all the tuna sandwiches. Look for the tuna sandwiches. You will find your polling station. Tinian, you're at Precinct 6. You're going to be at Tinian Elementary School. Elementary School. So I almost said that. And Precinct 7 out there in Rhoda, you're going to be at NMC in room B2. Both tattoo. So there you go. Now you know where to vote. And you heard it here. All right, so let's talk about this. Precinct 4D, the Northern Islands. Alamagan, Pagan, and Agrigan. I want to share with you my little story about going up on that trip, because that was friggin' awesome. I wonder if I could find the photos quickly, and I might be able to. So I'm going to look for them real quick while I try to stretch this out a little bit, because I had a hell of a great adventure going up north. Hold on, let's go to me. I'm going to go to, it's on my personal Facebook page. And I got to look at the photos just so I could show you a couple of photos I got. Oh, yeah, it says down, Jim says it's down about $1,000 from early voting 4 years ago, but that tracks with the island shrinkage. Yeah, I think you're probably about right. I don't know if this would go under albums, but these would be under my photos. And this is about my first trip to the Northern Islands. And it happened during the election in 2014. That's when Governor Enos won, and his lieutenant governor was Ralph Torres, our former lieutenant governor. Boy, was he excited about winning that election. I mean, it was really, back then, it was really lieutenant governor who was, they were saying that they didn't think that late Governor Enos was going to last that long, and that it would likely be Governor Torres running the show. And that's what ended up happening for a lot of it. Excuse me. Did I cough right into the microphone? Sorry, I scrolled back on my photos on Facebook, and wow, I think I got to go to the albums because it's just not there. I can't just, maybe it's because I'm watching it through the lens of my, I got pictures of this trip. That's what I want to show you. Dang it. Well, I might not be able to find it for you right now. I might. Okay, I'll give you one more shot. Give me one more bite at the apple here. See if I can't find it from here on the old phone, and then I'll send them to you. I'll send them to the computer on WhatsApp. There you go. That's how it'll work, right? Perfect. But it's okay. So let's tell you the story. So in 2014, I was working for KSPN. I was anchor of our local news on TV. It was a lot of fun. Great opportunity. Loved it. That's when I met Tomas Mangalona, by the way. And so we had the general election, and I wanted to hop on the boat to go up north for the voting and capture what was happening up there. But the weather was crap, so didn't do it. And I had a lot of running around to do for it. But there ended up being a runoff election, and the weather was so much better. So I reached out to election commissioner at that time, Robert Guerrero, the late Robert Guerrero, and asked him, hey, you're sending the boat up to get the votes, right? Yeah. Do you think I could hop on the boat and so I could tell that story? I said, sure. You're going to be the first one to ever do that from the press. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah. I'm like, no kidding. How come nobody's ever done that? His answer was, because nobody's ever asked. Like, you got to be kidding me. This is like everybody that I have casual conversations with says that they wish they had the opportunity to go to the Northern Islands. And I was one of those people. It's not cheap to go up there, and it's not easy, especially if you've never done it. Try to arrange all that kind of stuff. How do you make that work? I didn't know. But luckily, I had the opportunity to do this and hop on this boat. And so I'm on this boat. It's a landing craft, like one of those World War II landing crafts that they use for shipping. I believe it's called like Pacific Marine. They still operate that here. And we were luckily on a flat sea all the way there. 22 hours up and 23 hours back. Again, it was just glass the whole way there. And it's a flat bottom boat too, so that helped. So they had two 20-foot containers on there. One was like their galley, where all the food would be prepared and where you could eat and everything. And then the one right next to it was all the bunks, so people could sleep on it. And there was plenty of sleeping, because I took plenty of Dramamine, and I was knocked out. It was great. And then in front of the 20-foot containers is just a whole bunch of space. So you go out there and you'd watch the islands come up from a distance. The questions came in, so how many people were up there with you? So myself, I was up there, Ashley Cost with OPA at the time. She was the observer from OPA. And I'd say about 5 people on the boat, like the boat team, and some folks from the Northern Ireland Mayor's office, but not too many. It wasn't like an overloaded boat. It was folks to help with the supplies that we were bringing up there and to do the vote. And that was it. It was not a lot of people. The boat was definitely not flowing with folks who were there just for the ride, as I'm scrolling up still. And it was gorgeous. It was amazing. And we got up there around 4 or so, after 4 o'clock in the morning. So it was still dark outside. And there wasn't even much moonlight. It was just the smallest sliver of a moon that you could tell it was there. And just enough where you could kind of make out the outline of the island. That's how dark it was. And it didn't take long that while we were there for them to let us know that they could see us. They set up, there was like a ring of coconut trees that you couldn't even see. It was way too dark. But all of a sudden, this massive bonfire takes light. It illuminates all the trees. It's like, holy cow. And our boat is just like, we're not even moving. We're just there hanging out. And that was like their welcome. Like, here's the bay that you're coming into. Just come this way. We're ready for you. Outstanding. And as we are slowly puttering into the bay and getting closer, it's starting to lighten up now. The sky is. So maybe now, I don't remember how much time had passed, but it was enough time to where we're creeping towards sunrise. And you could see the silhouettes of people around the fire and then moving to where we're getting to the beach. And when we got to the beach, the front of the landing craft started coming down so that we would walk off with everything, which was pretty dang cool. And we were greeted by 7 of the 8 people who were living there. How cool is this? Right? And then you have to walk up the black sand beach to get up there to where like the main level of land is. You got to walk up. It's not super high, but it's high enough. And I don't know to this day if it was because of the steep grade that I had to walk up or if it was just the island itself. But man, I had this feeling come over me. Like, it was just every step I took, like as I was walking up the beach, the horizon's lowering as I'm walking up higher. And I could see just the pitched roof of a Pala Pala. I'm like, this is amazing. It's like, imagine like, first of all, just the experience of traveling by boat up north and seeing islands off in the distance and like, wow. I mean, like where there's nothing but blue and then a little bit of an island. And it's like, wow, you're going past like Anatahan, the big volcano that erupted about 20 years ago now. And you're going up there. It was just impressive. And then you see this, it's like, I can't imagine like what this would have been like for an explorer like 400 years ago, coming to an island and seeing stuff like this for the first time and greeting folks there for the first time. Just awesome. But I just could feel my heart just like, this is something. There's something powerful about this place, stepping foot on that island. And they greeted us and they were getting stuff ready and they had some food ready that they wanted to present and all that. And we had some stuff. I had heard that you could trade with the folks from there for those spondulas, the necklaces. So I worked it out with the mayor's office. I said, I would like to. Can you find out what they want? They're like, oh, well, here's what they really like. They're like this. I'm like, all right. So I picked up some stuff. And I didn't know how it was going to be. So for them, so I packed up a bunch of stuff. I was thinking about, man, what would I need if I was going to an island like this? You know, or if I was living on a place like this, what would I want? So I got a sharpening stone, like a whetstone, a bunch of rope, some string, bunch of canned food, a machete, a tarp or two. But the canned foods I thought were the big things. Plus the stuff they asked for, which was really just some alcohol and some cigarettes and lighters. That's the other thing. So when I made the trade, they already knew I was coming. And so I made the trade with them because they communicated by radio. And then I just gave him the rest of my stuff. And he's like, whoa, you gave me way too much. So he runs in and grabs me a bag full of other spondylus shells. He said, here, take these. Maybe you're going to want to make another necklace about it or something. Who knows? But here you go. So that was really cool. I got to trade with people after sailing 22 hours north over 200 miles by boat. I land on an island with 8 people and trade for this really cool spondylus. It's been a great conversation piece, and I love wearing it. Then we do the ballot under that Pala Pala. Private voting there too. Nobody's infringing on them, but we're only there 3 hours tops. Again, a little bit of food, a little bit of walking around, getting your feet in the water, seeing the dogs run around. Oh, and they had a baby goat following around this lady like it was a puppy. It was so cute. It was absolutely cute. And I had never seen anything quite like that. But walking around the island, walking on the airstrip, and it was just incredible. And there's only so much you could do in that limited amount of time. It's a really short amount of time. And they did have an ATV, so they took me around on it a little bit, but they have a limited amount of gas too. So you don't want to, ask them for much at all because it's hard for them to get any kind of resupplies like that. Oh, I went back too far. So that part was awesome. But after we, were wrapped up, it wasn't there. We weren't there for like a pleasure cruise or for a vacation or to really do a whole lot of stuff. So we turn around, hop on the boat, and that's when we're going to get the folks over in Alamagan. Because by then the sun is up and we're able to see them and it's on the way back. So we passed it when it was dark for Pagan and then hit it on the way back. And now this is, I think, one of the most interesting parts of the whole story because the Alamagan guys, you can't just lower down the bridge of that boat and go. You can't because there's no beach. It's all rocks and it's really rough. The seas are way rougher. There's no little lagoon. There's no little bay. It's just all open exposure. So if it's rough, it's rough. So what ended up happening, and I just found out where I can find these photos. What ended up happening is we went pretty close, but they were actively working the motor for the boat the whole time to make sure that we didn't get too close. We didn't get pushed into the rocks and all that. 2 guys, Jordan Ogo, and I can't remember the name of the other guy. 2 guys in Alamagan. And I watched them leap off the rocks and swim to the boat because the ballot box was on the boat. And when they got to the boat, he jumped up, got to the boat, clapped his hands and said, "Welcome to Alamagan." Anybody got a cigarette? And so, all right, I found the photos, guys. I'll be able to share them with you here in just a second. Oh, I got some videos too. I didn't realize I had those too. Here, let me click on this. And I think this is the direction we're going to go, right? Yeah. All right, so I'm going to share this screen with you real quick. Here, let's do that. That's us leaving Saipan on the back of that Pacific Marine boat. And so then they voted, had a couple of cigarettes, and then we motored up to the edge of the island and lowered the gate down just a little bit. And they revved the motor up against this of the boat to hold the boat against this cliff. Even though we went up and down, those guys jumped up onto the rocks, and then we threw supplies to them. And I had some other stuff. I gave them whatever I had because maybe they were going to find that helpful while they were there. I didn't even know. I didn't know that there would be stuff to give them. There was the captain of our boat. You see Ashley there over there at the bottom left. And then we were off. Oh, here's the thing, though. They jumped in the water, and as they're swimming to the boat, they're slapping the water. And he said that was because of the sharks. He said that you have to they slap the water to keep the sharks away. And the sharks aren't so bad. There's Anatahan. But it's the little baby ones that you got. It's not the big ones you got to worry about. It's the little baby ones. They get a little too close. Anatahan's only about 80 miles away, I think. So that's why you're able to see it so clearly. During the daytime when we left. And I don't know what camera I brought for this trip, but we'll keep going. Apparently, I took a lot of Anatahan as we were going by. A hell of an adventure. I would not trade this for the world to be able to say that. And that to have that spondylus. I mean, literally, it's a cool conversation place. I took a boat 200 miles to an island that only had 8 inhabitants and traded with them for this cool necklace that I wear. Right? That's awesome. All right. This is all on the way there. I'm skipping past the videos. And they're not all Anatahan. There's the bunk that I had. I think we still have that blanket. That's the bunk. It's nothing glamorous. You're sleeping on a little futon and a bunk bed. That's it. That's what's inside one of the 20-foot container where you would sleep. So, see, it's 3 bunks high. And I did have a charging port. That's the moon. That's how dark it was. That little speck, that was it. When I say it was dark that night, these are nighttime shots trying to get something. All right. You'll see more in a little bit. All right, there's the little baby goat that was following that lady around. Oh, so there's a T-shirt that I gave him. That's when I started that little thing called Try Saipan. I had a bunch of those. I was wearing one of those shirts, but I gave them some shirts too. Yep, there's a little goat following around that lady like it was a little puppy. It was so cool. And then you're overlooking the bay back there. Oh, geez. Let's see. Apparently I got a goat video. There's Ashley. This is where they did the votes, right there at the Pala Pala. There's my old blue backpack. All right, yeah, they had some dogs, super friendly dogs. One of the guys on the boat. Oh, man, that was after we and we were on our way back. You could see there, that's Mount Pog, and that's where it smokes. Just about 24 hours a day, there's stuff coming out of there. So now we're on the way back. And that's the southern part of the island where it's really steep. See, they got folks from DPS there as well. A little bit of video. I tell you, I love this trip. And look how, our ocean is just amazing. But that's it. That's leaving Poggin. Thankfully, that was not my last time. That was my easiest time to get there and back. The second time I went, that was rough. And then we started fishing. trolling on the way back. And boy, were we catching. Look at that. That's Alamagan. We're about to go. Look, that's the island that looks like Jurassic Park. We were motoring toward it at that time. Great focus. Oh, yeah, we ended up bringing goats back. Stow away. So now we're motoring toward the island slowly and carefully. And those were the cliffs. These are the two guys right there who ended up voting after swimming to the boat. One sec. But tell me, that does not look like that Jurassic Park island. And this is like digital video from 10 years ago. Don't set your sights too high. All right, so these are the two guys that I met. They swam through shark-infested water to get to the boat to cast their vote. How awesome is that? You know, I've heard people say, well, what a waste of money to go up there for like 10 votes. I think that's the wrong perspective. I think this tells you a different story about the importance of each person's vote. How much value the people of the CNMI place on the right to vote. That they will spend a lot of money to go up north to make sure that everybody's voice is heard. Damn right. That's America, baby. I'm telling you, you can't tell me that you can see I'm wearing the spondylus there. I'm already rocking it. That is the story of our islands, how much we care about people's rights to vote. You can see we're further away from the island while they're on the boat. Yeah, because they didn't want to stay in that little danger area. As soon as we picked them up, we went out to where it was a little deeper, so the captain didn't have to be like as vigilant like every second about where the boat's position was with regards to crashing into the island. That's right, Ann. Everyone's entitled to it. It's a right to be able to do that, right? It is a fundamental right. That's why it's so important for people to vote. If we care enough to send a boat up there for people to vote, damn right, you better vote here. These dudes swam through shark-infested waters to get to a boat so they could cast their ballot. Damn right. That might be the most challenging voting story for the entire United States in 2014. I don't know if I caught video of us trying to motor back, but we are getting closer. Oh, that's like one of those animated photo things. All right. Another one of the boat guys. Hold on. And then that we had already dropped him off by that point. I'm not sure which island that is. You might. Let us know. But I'm not sure. Then you can see them cooking on that little stove, right? We caught fish like no one's, like you wouldn't believe. And I'll tell you what, this might sound a little hippy dippy kind of stuff, right? And I'll take it. You want to throw some shade on it. But just as I was overcome with this feeling of walking on it, like, I don't know if it's sacred land or special something like about Pagan. Like I was just overcome with this feeling of like something. I don't know if I can describe it, but I had that same feeling when we were leaving after Pagan and Alamagan and sailing south, when they throw the lines in the water and you'd hear ping, ping. Like as soon as they would throw it in, ping, ping, and they'd reel those fish in. I had this feeling like it was like the Taptamonum saying thank you for coming to get their boats, you know, like, and visiting. I know it sounds, again, like all like, yeah, whatever you think, man. pass it my way. No, I just felt like it. And it was like the gifts that were given back to us for doing the same thing. It was awesome. It was just an awesome experience. Seeing your comments. I understand the folks that talk about the cost concerns. Obviously, I bring them up about most things, but the right to vote and to have it count is the kind of thing that is beyond a dollar sign. A symbolic gesture, sure, but symbols matter. So, do they just go into the cabin and actually fill out the ballot? No. So while it's on the boat, see where these guys are, where that guy's standing and where that guy's sitting? They were not standing and sitting there at the time. They put the ballot box over there, and everybody moved away from them while they did all their stuff and brought it back out. So there was as much privacy as you can get. I mean, that's how I remember it. I wasn't really watching them vote, and I didn't want to be in their way, but I remember it being back there. Ash might have a better recollection. Maybe they put that ballot box inside one of the cabins, which would make sense, but I don't know that that's what happened. Let's go back. But anyway, caught a ton of fish along the way. And then, so we ate a lot of sashimi and they fried it. How awesome is that? Fried that stuff on the go. Oh, look at the island in the background and everything. It was a great trip, guys. I'm telling you, bring your Dramamine if you go. That will help you with motion sickness or seasickness. And it's a long trip back. Oh, that's around that same time. Wow, remember when these two guys ran? That was for the runoff. Saw that when I got back. But, wow. Yeah, I took a picture. Look at this. Hold on. Look at that old photo from the Saipan Tribune. Look at what the priority was 10 years ago. How about that? We going around and around with the same things in the CNY? Oh, look, I'm in there. Who's that guy holding the microphone for KSPN? There's Governor Enos and Lieutenant Governor Torres at that. Well, a governor-elect and lieutenant governor-elect. How about that? Memories. Oh, what's this one? Well, I got all these. I have not been this deep into my Google Photos in a long time. I'm seeing a lot of stuff from when I was capturing all kinds of stuff. All right, I'm going to get out of there so I can focus on you guys again, because you're the most important. All right, while we're here, I'm going to check out one more thing. I want to see if we did it, because we'd be doing this together. I just want to see if we managed to pull this thing off. All right, we're going to go to the NMI News Service Facebook page. Oh, we're so close. We're so close. We're not there yet, but I bet we're going to be there today. I didn't see this until just now. Wait, where was this comment? Jerry, I saw your comment too late. It popped up on the other feed, but it was great. Right in, Brad was also hilarious. Oh, we got a call coming in. Let's see who we got. Alfred on Tiro. Good morning. You're on Good Morning Marianas. Who's this?
Yeah, Brad. This is Glenn. How are you?
Oh, Glenn. Great. How are you?
Great. Anyway, listen. Our Chamorro journalist was referred to Guam this morning. So I was wondering if you can. I'll send you a link and we can put you on the radio tonight, so you can do both. I'll get you a link so we can get your report live on the radio.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I'll be at the station and then I'll send you the link, and you can every 15 minutes you can update our community. On Marianas. Okay. All right, Brad. So I'll can you send me your email, and I'll send you the link for tonight.
You got it. We'll do that if you want, because you're going to be also broadcast. But you're going to broadcast on your Facebook also for Marianas Agupa?
Yes, everything will be broadcast on YouTube, everything. So I'll give you the link. So when you update our community, it be on the 100.3.
Mm-hmm.
It will be on 3 mass media, on TuneIn Radio. It will be on KWAW streaming. So it's worldwide. So the only source from the multi-purpose is from you.
Awesome.
I'll be at the station. So you'll be the source of the coverage, video and audio. So I'll send you the link. Send me your email and I'll send you the link for tonight. We can start maybe by 7 o'clock.
Yeah, we'll definitely be ready to go by that time. We're going to get down, like after we're done with the show today, I got to start breaking some of the stuff down and loading up and then and getting ready so we could do that for sure.
Okay. So you got my email, right? You don't have my email.
I might not. If you, could you WhatsApp me?
I'll WhatsApp you and that way you can send me your email and that way I can give you the link for tonight.
Great. You know, one thing that we could do probably, we could talk about it afterwards, but if you want, because I know you're going to have your thing going, but if you get me, like if you add me to your, you know, it will only be temporary, right? You add me to your Facebook access for your show, then I could broadcast directly on your thing too at the time. So you don't even have to worry about anything. It'll look like it's coming from you instead of showing a link that's coming from us.
Okay. All right. So that would be fine. I'll send you my email on WhatsApp.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
And I'll work on my tomorrow and make sure that I'm good to go. Say like, buenos dias on half a day. Guahusi Bradra Zala Matatutu Pari NMI News Service.
Okay. All right. No problem. Yeah. Keep it up. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Glenn.
No problem. Okay.
All right. All right. How about that? That is super cool. We're going to end up doing that with Glenn. Oh, man, that's awesome. Well, thank you. For thinking of us and being part of that. Yes. It says, can you update us on the delegate race on Guam as well? Yeah, I could try it. I just got to make sure I have a good source for what's happening on the Guam race. But I'll message. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, we'll keep track on what's happening in Guam because people are going to be interested. Is it going to be Moylan? Is it going to be Cruz? I think it's going to be Moylan. I think it's kind of. I like them both. I just don't think it's going to be really close. I think Moylan's going to win again. Just my guess. No downers on anybody. I like them both. I'm not in Guam, so it's not my race. But my little crystal ball, I don't know if it's going to be that close. I know they did that. I don't know. I think it's going to be Moylan. So I'm not sure. So anyway, I'll see what we can do about the coverage for tonight, by the way. In fact, I got to message somebody right now about that to make sure I can get that for you. Wow, that was such a cool call. Totally wasn't expecting it, and I'm really stoked by that. So get the word out a little bit more about what we got going on. Let me message LJ. Hold on 1 second. Make a slide for the Guam delegate race as well. And for that one, I'll reach out to Troy and say, because I know they're going to be covering it. So I'll see if they can't help us out with that. And then we'll something about like, that it's provided by a candidate. That would be pretty cool. Oh, it says, B-Rad, what's the over-under on how many days it'll take to count the ballots? Bill, I don't know. I'm hoping that we know by Tuesday morning. Like, Tuesday morning's got to be it. Like, we're going to be there late. Understandable. How late? I don't know. I just figure a lot of you guys are going to fall asleep and wake up and find out, just like when we find out. Only we're going to be there. Listen to my voice now. Nice. Thank you, my brother. Says it's... I don't even want to repeat it, but I think that's hilarious. Anyway, if you think my voice is bad now, hopefully I'll have a full day to just recover voice-wise tonight. And I'm excited about it. You know, one of the things that we've got going on is, you know what, Freddie, you says looks like low voter turnout. Maybe, but you know that might just be like a real display of how many people we lost, how many people aren't here. You know, we don't have early voting results in yet, right? We'll hear about those tonight, hopefully. But that might be a big piece of it. A lot of people left. You know, you could see it here. A lot of people left. It's great for me for traffic, right? But it does suck. I don't. Maybe it is lower voter turnout, but I'm not sure why, because there's so many interesting races happening, and especially, and it's also I haven't heard the venom in any of the political messaging, you know. So it's been like, I mean, yeah, there have been some posts here and there, but it's not like that overwhelming thing, and it's not like in the mainland. The future of the CNMI is doomed if candidate so-and-so is elected into office. Do you want your children to grow up in a future with this person leading the way? No. We don't have that kind of stuff, which is great because we're better than how they got it over there in the mainland. So I don't know. I don't know if it's low. We're going to find out tonight if it's how many of those 18,000 plus actually cast their ballots. I'm just glad I did mine early. I don't have to wait in line today. But again, after we pack up and call it a day here, we're going to be ready to bring it for you tonight. And guys, I'll tell you what. First of all, Glenn Manglonia, that is so cool. Thank you. The other thing is, there are likely going to be some other folks who are going to be broadcasting tonight too, which is pretty cool. The last time we did it 2 years ago, it was just us. We had the computer with the different cameras and the monitors and all that stuff. But then for the runoff, they're like, yep, you guys are not going to outdo us. So they did a really good job afterwards. So I imagine KSBN's going to be there again. I know Tomas Manglonia is going to be there again with his live stream. I don't know if the Tribune or Variety even care about live streaming, because it's not really their thing. They do the stories. So you'll have your choice for sure of who you want to watch. Hope you guys choose us and tell people to choose us. But, you know, you could vote. I was telling my wife this morning before I left, I'm like, all nervous about this stuff. Hold on, let me take a drink of water. I was telling Kathy before I left the house, just pacing around a little bit, just thinking of the whole thing. I'm like, what? I'm like, well, you know, say like comparison is the thief of joy. And like, you know, when we did it 2 years ago, a lot less people knew about this NMI news service. And a lot less people followed it. And it was, you know, just an anomaly. It wasn't really anything. But I think now we're starting to really gain some traction and a little credibility, and, you know, people starting to know us a little bit more. And I hope we get a lot more people watch this year. It doesn't matter. We're still going to do our thing either way. But I'm curious to see how that works. It says many billboards in a certain area of men and women candidates have a mustache painted on them. Not joking. All right. Okay. Clearly that's kids, right? I don't think there's anything terrible about it. It's just kids doing that. I know that sucks, right? That they draw mustaches off it, right? vandalizing somebody's billboard. You shouldn't do it and all that. But for something like that, I think it's definitely just kids. It is definitely just kids. I'll tell you what, I've got some photos of our kids that were on billboards when they came up more than 10 years ago, or around 10 years ago. This was when they were doing like the, less screen time, less sugary drinks, all that kind of stuff. And they were great. And we took those pictures of those when we saw them, and we took them with our kids there. Later, after those posters had been around for a while, there were things much worse than mustaches drawn onto a lot of those things. Just saying. And all you can do is laugh, because it's not like anybody purposefully had something out against my kid. No. It was just some kids in the village having some fun with a poster that was up like a big billboard. And it was funny. I mean, it's less funny when it's like someone you know who's on it. And I do not support any of that. But there are worse things than mustaches that could be drawn on those. It was just awful. It was so funny. I'm telling you, it was not stuff that you would want to see associated on the faces of your loved ones. But there's the only thing you can do is laugh. That's it. That's the only thing you can do is laugh. Oh, good times. It almost would make you want to not have your kids be in the photo shoot for that kind of stuff next time. Almost. But I got the good pictures, which are nice. I don't think I kept any of the other photos. But it was pretty good. All right, guys. I think that's about it for today. I'm going to run a couple more commercials. I'm going to get you guys the most recent Associated Press update. Let's see if it dropped. Oh, no, it didn't yet. How about that? Really? Let me try it again. Well, we'll check in on it. We have the sports update anyway, but by now it would have already dropped. I guess sometimes I'll tell you. Sometimes they don't often. They haven't missed an hour for a while, so it is a little interesting that they don't have it out yet now. So what I'm looking at, by the way. All the stuff that I get from Associated Press, they update every hour, except for our Monday, which is their Sunday because they don't have stuff. But and sometimes they're like once in a while they miss an hour, but it's rare. It's the exception, not the rule. All right. Well, we talked about everything. If you guys haven't already, go check out the. Here, I'll give you the link to it also. Here. This is for the Saipan Tribune. I'm going to post this on there. This is the Saipan Tribune's link where they've got a little bit about every candidate. It's not super in-depth, but if you want to know, like, hey, who am I voting for in my precinct? They've got it. It's online, so you can keep it on your phone. It's a nice, easy thing to go. It comes with a nice ad there for Judge Teresa Kim Tenorio as well. So that's all there. All right, and that's about it. That is about it for the show today. All right, I'm gonna get going here. I'm gonna get you guys a little bit more love for our sponsors before we get out of here. I'll tell you what. One of our sponsors that we love is Paradise Dental Spa. They're located on Middle Road in Gualo Rye. They are so much more than just a dental place. You're actually getting a relationship with your dentist and with their whole family, that group. When you get in there and you get to know the folks in there, they know you by name. They welcome you from the moment you walk in the door. You feel like you're in a real comfortable place. It doesn't feel like one of those cookie cutter dentistry practices or offices, you feel like you're in a pretty good place. And I'll tell you, when you're going to get work done on your mouth, that's what you want. You want to have a nice place where you're going to feel comfortable and ready to go. And that's a place to do it. And when you're getting toward the end of your year, you know, all of those co-pays that you have, they max out at a certain point. And once you hit your cap on your co-pays, then you can get even more work done. You don't have to worry about paying that in. And you don't want to miss out on that. You don't want to waste that benefit that you've been paying in for all year, so you should do it. The other thing is, excuse me as I'm coughing, is that the time for to choose who your dental practice is going to be is now if you're a government employee. You don't know what you're missing if you haven't been down to Paradise Dental Spa. They have, like, they've got the most affordable dental coverage that you can get. Think about this. $4 for a single, $5 for a couple, and $6 for your whole family. No, not grandma and all your aunts and uncles, but all the people that live with you, all your dependents. They fall under your thing for $6. How much are you paying? $4, $5, $6? Heck no. Chances are you're paying way more than that for your dental coverage. Give them a call today at Paradise Dental Spa, 234-4040, and find out why so many people are going down there. Find out why everyone's talking about how great they are down there. You can't miss it. It's in Gualarai. It's the big orange building with the nice Paradise Dental Spa sign. All right, guys, this is our last chance to be able to get some folks some real good info about their voting rights. If you are mobility challenged, maybe you're visually impaired, I'll tell you what, you still have the same rights to privacy for your vote as anybody. You don't have to vote from your car. They will give you access and they will help you make your vote privately on your own because you have that same right as everybody else. Here's the folks from NM Posse to tell you a little bit more about that.
If you're a person with a disability in the CNMI, you have certain rights that protect your ability to vote. This video contains some information about your rights and some resources available to you in protecting those rights.
What are some of your voting rights as